Hi, I'm Suzie and I run Fuse Diverse Dance.
Hi, I'm Neil and I'm the writer-dramaturg on CIVIC.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about where CIVIC came from?
So CIVIC came from a visit to the Civic Centre when we were looking for a venue, and we knew we wanted to make a piece that was about Plymouth but didn't track all the way back in history as far as the Mayflower. So we were thinking about a starting point that was a little bit more present and more current and was about people that exist now. And people that have known Plymouth for probably the length of time that my dad has or I have, that kind of age. That's where it started.
Yeah, and the Civic Centre, I suppose, is this kind of embodiment of certain things for certain people, and it was built, or opened in 1961, I think, and it's part of that whole rebuild of Plymouth. And obviously now it's kind of at the end of its life, where it's going to regenerate into something new, and it just seemed like quite a nice story to chart from the beginning of its life to its end in terms of it being used by the council, and what that might mean to lots of different people, what stories might be in there about the city as a whole.
So what sort of things have you found out when you've been doing your research?
We found out
masses of stuff, loads, yeah.
Really great stories, anecdotes of people that used to work in the building, the Civic Centre, people that used to work for the council. Those have been my favourite, I think, kind of real stories and real people, and getting the names of people and stuff. Yeah.
And we tried to talk to as many people as possible, so people who worked in the dockyard, people who were a smithy, like your dad.
Yeah.
And people who've had various positions in the council, or from just working there in the building to being slightly higher up at a policy level, and people who know lots about Plymouth history.
People that maybe are activists or move in those circles. So lots of different perspectives of the same Plymouth, and we wanted to create a show similar to last year, where it was like a tapestry of stories and a tapestry of people, because that's what Fuse Diverse Dance is so interested in. So it was collecting lots of different perspectives and lots of different stories, and then finding a way to blend them together that represents sort of a tapestry or a rich mix of things from the city.
And what can we expect from the Civic show?
What can you expect?
Well, broadly speaking, it's a dance theatre piece, and it's been, hopefully, I think, handled in quite an interesting way, because we've mixed real storytelling and script writing with very exciting dance sequences through the period that we're talking about, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, up to now, taking in lots of different aspects of working life in the city, so offices, dockyards, like we said, lots of different things.
Loads. And
it's funny as well.
Yeah, it takes you on a real journey, and you'll be literally moved on a real journey. So it's a promenade performance.
Yeah.
And the audience are kind of part of the show in some way. Like last year, we're encouraging people to kind of dress up, pick an era they love, come along and wear that particular era, whether you're double denim or whether you're a nice 70s kind of office suit or whatever. But the movement materials kind of come from the stories, really. So it's less about identifying specific cultural groups or styles of dance within the city, and it's just more about the movement representing people and their stories. And that's really what's brought all the different community groups together this year.
And how people can pull together, or what drives them apart, what some of the problems that we face now, how we can look at that, how do you take a step back from it so that you can maybe see the funny side of things as well, but also address the issues.
The question "what if" has been really important for us in the process. It's been like, what if we try it this way? What if the stories came from these people? What if we did it in a derelict building in Royal William Yard? But all that concept of what if like channels through the piece as well. So we're hoping that the audience has a chance to really kind of think about
and stories that people sent in have directly fed into the content of the show and characters that are in there. So a lot of it has, although it's all fictionalised and nothing's based on any one specific individual, there are lots of real, true stories that were fed to us that have now made their way into the content of the show, which is quite an exciting way to work with the community.
So, tell us a little bit about Sylvia.
Sylvia is great. She is. There were a collection of people who some will remember, anyway, who worked in the Civic Centre, who were the tea ladies there, and as well as obviously giving people their snacks and breaks and teas and coffees and all the rest of it, they also became very friendly. They would be people to go to for marital advice or stories about the community, or if you had issues, and they seem to be one of the foundation blocks of life at the Civic Centre. And so we thought it'd be interesting, because we wanted it to reflect real people, that the central character who takes the audience on this journey is actually one of those tea ladies, and she starts off in the Civic Centre and then says, come on, let's see the rest of the city, and so the audience get to explore and see that as well, and lots of different characters and little stories, some sad, some funny, and it's clashing all with these brilliant movement sequences, and images and bits of film, and music, live music as well.
Live music, choirs, archive footage,
and stories that you submitted.
And Sylvia is the kind of the person that holds all of that together, just like she did in the Civic Centre. She's kind of the matriarch of that space, really. And so in the show, she's who keeps you kind of moving and channels you through all the different spaces that you meet and places that you go to. She's salt of the earth. She's a Plymouth girl through and through, and she's a real person that we've kind of found.
There was a tea lady called Sylvia, who is not, and her character isn't based on her, I should point out, but we've taken the name.
Yeah.
So, for somebody that's not necessarily into dance ordinarily, what will they get from Civic?
It's a story, really, and if if you can understand the story from beginning to end, like if you can listen to the stories that we tell, if you can watch the characters grow and change, it's no different. It's just like a story, and sometimes it's with movement and sometimes it's with words.
The two work together. It was very important to us to try and merge those two aspects, and I would say that it is a dance theatre piece, but it's not predominantly dance, is it? Is that fair to say? Yeah,
no, I would say it's a good mix between the two, and it doesn't take itself too seriously either. So you'll come for a laugh, and the movement routines tell you something that you need to know, and nothing more.
And anybody who's ever been lost in a civic building anywhere in any city trying to get something done, you will understand bits of this show.
If you've ever been in a queue, you'll understand.
Yeah. If you've ever been sent from one department and then to another.
Yeah.